In this module, I'm going to teach you how to take a detailed job spec from a client so that you are in the best position to find them the right candidate. The rules are simple. If you just ask the right questions in a friendly and efficient manner, you will set yourself up for success. Cutting corners will only lead to pitfalls later in the process, so it's critical to do a thorough job. You have to let your personality shine when you talk to your client. It's likely you'll be in the industry because, amongst other things, you have great interpersonal skills. Use my job spec questions as a foundation to build from rather than a strict formula to follow. In the first half of this module, we'll look at how to take a job spec from a client. In the second half, I'll talk you through the job spec questions. Let's assume you're taking a job spec from a client you haven't worked with before. The first step is to identify a candidate with skills and experience that suit that client. Let's call them our most placeable candidate, an NPC, for the time being. I will walk you through how to source and qualify candidates in depth in modules 3 and 4. Now, let's make a note of the 3 key areas of their experience that are in demand at the moment and appealing to clients that you're going to introduce them to. Once you have this candidate, you can also identify other existing or new clients that could be ideal matches for their skill set. You now need to call the client to introduce the candidate to them. Open with a friendly line. Hi, my name is James Caan. I'm calling from UCO. I was wondering if you could help me. Now explain why you're calling. I'm trying to find a new role for John Smith. Then share 3 key attributes you've identified which makes them your most placeable candidate. Once you've explained why they are exceptional, now say the following. He works for one of your competitors and is extremely interested in your organisation's work and has already achieved a considerable amount of success in his role. Then end your presentation with, I was wondering what opportunities you may have for somebody at this level. If the client is interested, this is your opportunity to take the job spec. I'll show you how to do that shortly. If they don't have the right brief, don't let the conversation come to a close. Ask what levels they're looking to fill at the moment and then take the spec from here. If your client isn't looking to fill any roles at the moment, ask if anyone in the company is, then note down the colleague's contact details so that you can contact them later. Don't be afraid to be persistent. If you're friendly and engaging, it's likely they'll tell you what you need to know. To be a successful recruiter, you must use each conversation as a means of expanding your network. Everyone you speak to is a treasure chest of information that can be used to your advantage. You'll be surprised how many people are happy to share their network with you if you just simply ask. Let's say the client does have a vacancy. If they are too busy to discuss the openings at this stage, let them know that the role is very important to you and it's one that you'd really like to fill. Then ask for a convenient time to schedule a 20-minute call so that you can understand as much as possible about this opportunity. I find it helps if you tell your client that it will take approximately 20 minutes to understand as much as possible about the opportunity. Don't worry if the call takes longer. Once you've got them on the phone and the conversation flows naturally, and as long as the client is comfortable in talking to you, you can get the information you need. I would never source candidates based on a job spec with limited amount of information. You won't know what the role fully entails and your client's needs and expectations are. It's very important not to rush this step. You'll also be able to gauge whether your client is committed to this role. If they're not willing to spend at least 20 minutes talking to you when they are available, it's probably not worth investing your time in finding them a candidate. It's quite possible that they could just be window shopping. If this happens, you need to be open and honest with the client, and I would say something like, whilst I'd love to work on this brief, I just don't feel I have enough information to find you the right candidate. This could end up wasting your time, as you have to review CVs and meet candidates that are not a good match for you. Transparency is the key during this process. If the client has given limited information to other recruiters, it could explain why they haven't found the right candidate yet. Don't be afraid to remind them. Investing time now could help them overcome this problem. The client will respect you for this and will be more likely to return to you for help at a later date when there's a job that you are willing to work on. Sometimes it's good to follow your gut instinct. Watch the second half of the module where I'll talk you through the job spec questions.